Hi, my name's Colwen. Doing a Transformer review on Transformers Prime Cliffjumper. And yes, that's exactly what you think it is. Do you mind? Can you get off my Transformer? So, Transformers Prime, and now it's crawling on my forehead. That actually is first problem with this figure, and that's actually only on mine, fortunately, but it is still an issue. My has the damaged rear end, but it holds in place okay normally as long as I'm careful with it. Cliffjumper was in the first episode of Transformers Prime, and then he died, and then he came back as a zombie. The first edition version, there is several versions available of this guy. There's the regular first edition where he has regular paint and no damage, and then there's two zombie versions. There's also the RID version. I don't actually have one of those right now, but yeah. So let's bring over Film Noir. We've got Scourge. We've got Hubcap and Soda Can. So he is a pretty good size deluxe figure. I never once pronounced to be a professional at this. I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. I like that you guys like, comment, subscribe, by the way. Like that you guys watch. I appreciate that. Here is the Siege guys. So, articulation. Transformers Prime, I want to say, was like 2010, 2011 or so. And the articulation is surprisingly good. He's got a nice ball-jointed head. That is a very good representation of his zombie mode head. The broken horn and all that. I like the way that looks. The backpack is very clean and smooth. It's just the hood folded up there with a little bit of a grill booty going on. He has kind of waist articulation, but that is actually just for the transformation, and it kind of just locks itself back up once you transform it. He's got this kind of vertical butterfly joint. He's got ball jointed shoulders. He's got an at the shoulder swivel. Nice double jointed elbows. He's got wrist articulation if you're so inclined, and a little bit of hinged articulation. However, that is more so for his transforming weapon, which in order to transform it, you need to make sure that his wrist is folded like that so that the wrist snaps into place, and then you can close. This was a cool thing. This was a really cool thing he did. He would transform his weapons right out of his arms, and that is good stuff right there. And even the zombie one would do it. He still had control. He would go moaning and groaning along and then whip out his guns and try and take shots at people. It was hilarious. Ball jointed hips. No thigh swivel. There is a swivel up in the hip itself, and that does give you quite a bit. Yeah, it's up here just below the hip, but that's still pretty good. He's got a decent knee bend, and he kind of has foot-toe articulation going on. Like, seriously, this guy had some insane posability for its time. You can get some good stuff going on with him. Now, first edition, they were actually noticeably more complicated, so I'm going to be patient and take my time with this. Okay, so first, now you're not supposed to, but I'm going to go ahead and take off the grill bumper, and I'm going to transform it by folding out these two little bits here, and I'm going to make sure the horns are pushed forward. Okay, again, mine's broken, so I'm going to put that off to the side. Yeah, take the hip headlights. This is a cool thing with him. He had the headlights fold up on the side of his hip. And this guy, there is no weird Transformer kibble. There's no cheats with him. That's a really cool thing with this guy. There's no cheating with him. So you're going to pull the hood backpack away, fold down that part there, and normally you'd have this stuck on there and it would be done. But I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Take the head and fold it into the torso. Come up here to the shoulders and twist them back and bring them up so you can tuck those pieces up underneath the roof. and twist the arms around and open up these door panels so that you can now use the double hinges to bring them up and underneath. Bring away this hip section and rotate the entire waist around and get that out of the way. You can close up the roof. You can bring down the trunk section. We need to angle these double jointed shoulders to where they fold completely in on themselves. Then we can peg the trunk and the rear fenders together. Do we need a Gerwalk mode? Does this want to be our Gerwalk mode? Gerwalk everything, right? Okay. Straighten out the hood and line that up. Now the legs, dude, the legs do something really cool. What's his name? Cup ended up using this trick. Open up the inside. Oh, okay. Make sure you keep the toes straight going forward, okay? Open up the inside of the thigh, of the lower leg, and hinge that around. Then, using the ball joint hinge, bring down the foot into the inside of the leg. Flip out these little purple translucent panels here. Do you see what we got going on here? This is the front tire, and this is the whole side of the car. So what we're going to do then is there's this hinge on the inside of the thigh. And you're going to hinge it up and out of the way like that. Do you see that? This is weird. This is like, we have this whole hinge section here that we're going to swivel around. Make sure to keep that little panel out. Peg all that into place and just line that all up and clip it in. Swivel around the entire leg like that. And again, tab and clip things into place. There's a tab on either side of the headlights that's going to go into the front fender. This stuff is going to slot in here and tab into place. And then the hip section, that was his crotch plate or whatever, is going to fold up in there. And yeah, his head's right there. The guns are right there. So there's obvious robot kibble, but the top of it hides it so well. Come on. Every time I try and push things into place, something else gets popped out of place. This is that whole squeeze it together thing. He is absolutely a shell former, but he transforms his shell very, very, very cleanly. Then we're going to take the front bumper and grill and peg that into either side and clip that in there. The rubber horns help to hold that all in place, and now we have him in his zombie charger muscle car mode. So we've got Cliffjumper here in his vehicle mode. Let's bring in Film Noir Spider-Man. Let's bring over, come on, Scourge. Bring over Scourge and Hubcap. And as far as scaling with vehicles goes, that's how he is up to Film Noir. He scales pretty well, actually. He looks really good next to the other guys. We've got Soda Can. And we've got the Siege car guys again. So, Cliffjumper here, even though he's got all the weird damage and stuff, it's cool because he was a zombie, and he did transform. Even when zombie mode, he would transform and try and run down other people. He's got the cool little rubber horns up front, and those aren't demon horns, those are steer horns. So, hey, you know, why not? The wheels are pinned in, which is nice. Bunch of robot undercarriage, but look at the side. Vehicle mode, he's some type of Dodge Challenger, Dodge Charger, some weird amalgamation of kind of, you know, 1970s and 80s muscle car, you know, and the rear end is nice and painted in silver, and the purple windows, and it's like, yeah, I'm glad I got this one. I'm kind of iffy about playing with it too much because of the weird front bumper here, but when it's all transformed, it stays on there fairly well, and even in robot mode, it stayed on there fairly well. So I might put them back on display when I get my shelves all set back up again. I don't know. We will see. I like the silver painted exhausts right there. That's neat looking. I like that. That's good stuff. I can highly recommend pick up any one of the Cliffjumper molds, but he does range quite a bit. The first edition one loose can be like $30-$40. This one, the zombie one loose, $30-$40. Any one of them in boxes is easily 50 or 60, and there's a couple of Comic-Con ones. There's one where he comes packaged in robot mode inside of a big plastic shell that's shaped like his head. That goes for like $110, $120. It's like, ah! The prices on my boy here are just, ah! So I'm glad I got mine when I did, way back when. And I'm glad I still have mine, even though he's got the damage. But if you want your own, be aware of that price tag. And there's a legacy one coming out. I will have to get that one and do a comparison of the two. Until then, I'm Colwen. This has been Transformers Prime First Edition Zombie version Cliffjumper. All around great figure, but can you swallow that price? Kind of, Alright, thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.